You know how sometimes you make a bad choice and you just have to live with it? Well, I made one such bad choice of not wearing gloves today, and my hands are freezing. It's freezing cold, and it feels like it's been raining for what seems like weeks in Berlin now. But this video isn't about the weather of Berlin, not at all. So what's this about? It's about the 70th annual Berlin International Film Festival. It's a mouthful, I know. So we're just gonna call it for what it's usually called as, Berlinale. To which I have a press pass, and I chose the goofiest photo possible. Alright, let's go check out the Berlinale. There are 4 Indian films featuring at the Berlinale this year. They are Gumnaam Din, Leila Osat Geet, E Bale U and Sthalpurna. I had the chance to watch Sthalpurna, which is directed by Akshay Indikar, a 28-year-old filmmaker out of India. This is his second feature film, which he also wrote and edited. Sthalpurna is about this 8-year-old boy named Diggu, who is portrayed by Neil Deshmukh in the film, who along with his older sister and his mother, they moved from the city into a coastal region of Konkan in India. It's a story told from his perspective, and since he's a quiet character, we get a glimpse of what goes on in his head through the occasional diary entries of his. The story is about him trying to cope with this change, and it's about his journey to figure out the answer to his unanswered question, which is, what happened to my father? Sthalpurna, more than anything else, invoked a sense of nostalgia for me. And to understand why, you must first know a little bit about me. I grew up in Dubai since I was a year-old, and growing up, we would visit India every year. My dad grew up in the city and my mum in a somewhat rural area, both of which are in Kerala, and for every year, I would get to experience the world for a bit. My dad's place, it's busy and it's loud and it's full of people and cars and buses. Basically, it's everything that makes a city a city. Whereas my mum's place, well, it's on the other end of the spectrum. I used to call it a forest, but obviously it wasn't. As a kid, that's how I identified it as. It was a house in what seemed like a forest. It was quiet there with very few people, and if you come from living in life in the city, you definitely needed a vivid imagination to enjoy your place, otherwise boredom becomes your best friend. And watching Sthalpurna, that's the first thought that I had about my time at my mother's hometown. The movie did well to show how time moves really slow in rural areas, because I can tell from experience that time did really move slow there. As the movie progresses, the boy finds himself in the city, where Akshay does a great job of showing us how it is in contrast with the rural areas of India. With the scene space slowly increasing until it reaches a hectic pace, I can only think of one word to describe what he shows us: chaotic. And I agree with him. Because that is what a big city in India feels like. In 2014, when I moved to India, I went to Bombay for the first time as an adult. And I distinctly remember feeling like a headless chicken when I got there. It didn't feel like my compass was broken, it felt like it was lost. I had to get a new compass for the city. All of this is to say that if I felt this deep sense of nostalgia about my time in India while watching this movie, then to the discerning viewer, it could be a good way to show them some of the shades of India, about its people and their way of life. And Berlinale featuring this movie greatly increases this exposure, which I think is one of the functions of a film festival is, to increase cultural exposure. A platform for diverse people to come together to share ideas and their cultures with one another. It can strengthen people's beliefs, or in some cases change them. Or you can inform people about the diversity they haven't experienced yet. I'm going to end this with what Erez Elizi said. She's a director from Albania who I had a chance to talk to, and I asked her why she thinks film festivals are important.
I do think film festivals are very important, especially in the times we're living in. It's very important to be open-minded, right. And maybe only through traveling and being willing to listen to somebody else's experience, we can be better human beings, because I am very concerned about the state of things.
Like, what are you most concerned
The
about?
open-minded keep on learning more and growing more aware that we are one.
Right.
But the weak ones who don't do the homework keep on going the dark way. So fighting for the light becomes even more important. I think uniting is very important. I think listening to one another is very important.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Very much a pleasure.